What's up, you guys? It's Games here again for another fucking episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Get ready for a long ass episode, but before we start, I just want to give a trigger warning that today's episode will be about anxiety, dealing with depression, existentialism, and self-harm. So if you feel like you can't deal or hang, or you don't want to be triggered by the topic, please click on to the next video. Thank you. What's up, you guys? So today we're talking about a great topic because it is very important and close to my heart that we talk about self-harm and dealing with depression and dealing with anxiety. So buckle in because there are many plans for the rest of the season to tackle those very hard questions that we deal with, talking about depression, anxiety, and existentialism. So I think that it started for me when I was 15 and I got diagnosed with depression, and everything just kind of got worse when I was diagnosed, even though I knew I had depression for a long time. And I have like really sad stories of me when I was like 9 crying because I was scared to die and I didn't know how to handle it. And I didn't want to talk to anybody about it because I felt contagious and I was really unhappy. But I soon got over that because my brother talked me out of it. And I just have always been a sad kid. So I dealt with this topic at hand for I think 6 years, and I just want to say that you can't take advantage of yourself anymore. And I say that because when you self-harm, or when you cut, or when you burn, or when you don't eat, those things are selfish answers to the real you. And getting answers that way will never help you. It will never help you. It will never help you. And so you need to realize that you are struggling to cope with your struggles, or struggling to cope with life, and that's okay. Everybody goes through moments like that. You're not alone, and a lot of people deal with the same problem that you're going through. But you can't hurt yourself purposely anymore because you're taking advantage of yourself, and it's not fair to you, it's not fair to me, it's not fair to the people that care about you, and it's not fair to your friends. Because if you hurt yourself doing permanent things to a temporary situation, then there's so much hurting involved in that is bigger than you. And you would never want someone to feel the pain and hurting that you feel because you took away your own life. So I just want to say, getting sober after convincing yourself for a long time that you're okay, convincing yourself that you're fine and telling yourself that you're not hurting, you're healing, isn't easy, because that's what I went through. And even when you don't know you're going to be okay, it's important to understand healing never comes at a cost, okay? And you don't pay anything, and you can't take advantage of yourself anymore, and it's not fair. And if you're out there and you do cut, or you do starve, or burn yourself, or whatever it is, today you listened to a podcast message that was about healing and how you can heal, and you can heal, and it does get better. I promise. I swear it. I put that on my life. It gets better. Please, please, please stop hurting yourself. Please stop hurting yourself. So, I just want to talk about my addiction to cutting, because I was addicted to cutting for a really long time, and I never really grew out of it. I just understood that people didn't want me to do it anymore, so I didn't do it, and that's just how I kind of stopped cutting. And I cut until I was 21, and I had scars all up and down my arm, and luckily they healed and went away. But sometimes that's not the case for everybody. Sometimes people hurt themselves. Sometimes people consistently deal with self-hatred. Sometimes people take their own life, and all those are really sad and unfair to people that care about you. And there are people that do care about you. So I hope that you guys are enjoying this message. My hopes with this podcast for the rest of this season is to tackle very, very hard subjects and to deal with them face on, and to face your fears and face your problems and get sober and love yourself and beat depression and beat anxiety and don't hide your truth. Because all those topics are all these topics are important to me, so I really, really want to talk about them. So it'll be a more serious tone than normal. I know I normally make jokes and laugh and all that, and we'll do that, but I just really, really have high hopes for this podcast, talking head on about those struggles that people deal with alone. So I apologize in advance. I'm so sorry if you had high hopes for this show to be a comedy, but I really, really want to reach out to everyone who is struggling and help everybody the best that I can, and to the best of my ability. But we'll talk about that in a different episode. Let's get back to the show. And I think that you know what I know? I know for a fact that when you cut, it's hard to get sober again, and it's hard to cope, and it's hard to deal with it. It's hard to deal with your depression. It eases the pain sometimes, and there are a lot of reasons why you want to do it. But I know for a fact that deep down in your heart and in your mind that cutting is not your answer. Taking your life is not your answer. So don't take your life. Don't hurt yourself. Don't waste your time. Get better. Heal. Cope. Learn. And learn from it. That's the best way to do it. That is the best way to do it. So I just want to talk about getting sober, because I had a really hard time getting sober, and all my friends suffered because of me. All my family worried because of me. My friends worried about me. And you see how this cycle is starting, and I don't want anybody to have to go through what I've been through, hurting other people because you don't care, because you want to hurt yourself. So I just hope that you get better and stop and think at least once, why am I hurting myself? And think to yourself, is this really worth it? Because in the end, it's not. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm so sorry for the trigger warning. And stay tuned for the next episode. It gets better. Don't be afraid to live your life. Live your best life. Smile. Enjoy yourself. And we're all in this together. And it gets better. Thank you.